Hey, what's up, guys? Can you hear me? What's my Instagram? CrypticArt89. Hey, how's it going? From Italy, America. How you doing? Solid, solid. We got England represented here, so we got Italy, England, the U.S. Shit. Yeah, that's pretty much what most heavy pomades are made of, like the Murray's or the Dax Red Can. They're made of wax, basically. I already got questions about the finger. I already got questions about the fucking finger. Alright, before I get into all that bullshit, welcome to the live stream. We got fucking 3,000 subscribers and still counting. We're on our way to fucking 4,000. You guys fucking rock, by the way. Appreciate that fucking shit. Oh, somebody's having a bad day. No, this ain't a joint. It's a little cigar. They're little cigars slash cigarettes. They're kind of like... It's basically a really good way for tobacco companies to get around, you know, the fucking sin tax that we all have to pay and that jack the cigarette prices up. So, if you sell it as cigar tobacco and all that, you can get away with selling it cheaper. Will I ever change brands? I smoke all kinds of different shit. Honestly, I mean, I've tried a lot of different kind of cigarettes. These are the ones that I get because they're fucking inexpensive. And Madman, just like he can drink, he can smoke a lot. And these do me just fine. Hey, things are going good. Dead Cruiser. Yep, things are going good, man. Been good, Richard. Doing real good. Hanging in there, man. Trying to fucking make shit happen. Thank you, Skull Island. Appreciate that. Man, I've had a fucking busy day today, boy. Woo! Things are good, Nick Ginn. What am I drinking? Only the finest. Pabst Blue Ribbon. Gotta bring this shit back, man. This is old school beer. Gotta bring this fucking shit back and get it away from the hipster scene, man. This was always a old school greaser beer, man. Like hard fucking working beer. Mechanics, dock workers, you know, truck drivers, man. Back in the day, they used to drink a lot of this stuff. I always get, you know, I was just waiting for that. I'm waiting for that. I always get asked about the fucking necklace. I don't know what it is about the fucking necklace. Everybody just goes wild for it. It's like, I've had people say, is that a Canadian coin? Or, you know, what the fuck's that thing? Like, that's a cool necklace. Like, I always get that question. The necklace is an astrology necklace. Simple as that. Thank you, Frank. Hey, cheers. U.S. to Scotland. American Irish here. Yeah, I know the hipsters are taking over the leather jacket scene. They just don't wear the right kind and they don't fit them. They get them real baggy ass leather jackets with their skinny jeans. It looks fucking funny. Fucking A, Richard. Yeah, you know, some of you cats have been with me from the very fucking beginning. Like when I literally, I remember when I started, I had 0 subscribers, man, and I was out there just learning and pushing and doing what it takes to get this done, you know? Ah, we got the UK represented here. Right on, Daniel. Since 60 subs. That's kind of when I started, like, getting some notice, you know? Man, can you believe it's been just maybe a little bit over a year since I started everything? And I didn't really grow until, like, I don't know, like February of this year. I really started to grow. But I started, like, late last year. My sleeves are rolled, cat. See? They're double rolled, actually. Are like other scenes or considered joining other scenes? Are you talking like punk rock and psychobilly and just other subcultures? If so, I always I was always there to like stand by my buddies that were like punkers or like metalheads or psychobillies, and I was always like very much a part of their scene. But here's the thing, and I'm going to cover this in this live stream. I was a greaser who happened to like those other things. Like, the greaser thing always came first. That was my thing. That's my, my lifestyle. But I also would go and support the other, stuff, like punk and metal. I mean, I love all kind of stuff, Yeah, have I ever seen The Wanderers? Yeah, long time ago. I still have it. Matter of fact, here's a story for you about The Wanderers. I got the Wanderers movie. I think I got it off like fucking eBay. This is like back in the old days when I was in high school and it was really hard to find shit. I got it like off eBay, and it took forever to get here because I think it was overseas. It was like European edition, and when I put it in my fucking DVD player, it wouldn't play because it had a completely different format that our DVDs players here in the U.S. can't read, at least at that time. So my mom, she worked with a guy who used to do a lot of editing and stuff on the side. He's like, hey, I can convert those for you. So she took him the CD, or the DVD, and then he converted them into a 2-part disc thing and gave them back to me, and I was able to watch The Wanderers. Do I have a job? Yeah, 3. I just got back from doing one of them today. I had to do check this out. Now, it's cold as fuck out here, and we're really starting to feel that fucking cold weather here. And man, I was out there fucking doing a tree limb. A couple limbs came out of a tree. It was like an emergency storm limb job that we did. So me and my boss, we went out there and fucking got that shit cracked out in about 2.5 hours, 2 hours maybe. And I did it one-handed. All right. I got the questions really pouring in. What happened to my hand? What happened to my finger? How did you cut your finger? All right. So you guys know that review video that I was going to do on that 13-inch stiletto? You remember that? I talked about that? I've always worked while injured, Ghost Sniper. Whether I was teaching martial arts and my knees were blown out, I would tape them up and wrap them and go out there and work, man. Because if I wasn't working at that time, I wasn't making money, dude. And that's my life. If I ain't working, I ain't making money. If I ain't there, I don't got benefits. I don't got fucking any kind of coverage like that, man. I fly without a net. You gotta make it where you can make it. So anyway, back to the cut story. Anyway, I wasn't doing tricks. No. So what happened last night? I was gonna film the stiletto review for the 13-inch stiletto, and the night previous, what I had done is I was fucking around with the stiletto, and I was like, I wonder if I can fling it open like I have with some of my other knives. So I flung it open, but what happened is the safety catch it's supposed to go into the middle of the bottom of the blade where it rolls where the spring is. What it did is I flung it so hard it overshot and it got stuck on the other side of the blade. So I had fixed it. I fixed it like a couple of times, but it's now very susceptible to getting stuck. I mean, it's a fucking cheap knife. What can you expect? It's cheap Chinese shit off, Amazon. But it's a cool knife, don't get me wrong. So I had set the camera up. I was like sitting right here, had the camera up. I hadn't hit record yet. And what had happened is, I had opened it a little too hard and it got stuck again. Okay? My fucking dumbass. And this is what when I tell you this, no matter how much of an expert you are with knives, I mean, I've got tons of knives. I'm a martial artist, man. It's like, I'm used to using knives. No matter how fucking good you are, when you cut corners and you fucking rush things and you can make a mistake, it can happen to anybody. So what I did is, instead of going downstairs, getting the tools out, and fucking, taking a towel, putting it on the cutting block, and fucking trying to, get that thing to pop back into place, I'm sat here in the chair fucking, come on, goddamn, I'm sitting here fucking pissed off trying to get this thing to fucking go back into place. And I sliced to the bone up the side of my finger, just went whoosh, and it's like this little U shape. Big time fucking cut. So, and I was bleeding out everywhere. I bled a lot. A shit ton. I lost a lot of blood. This was last night this happened. It happened 10:50 my time in the evening. And I'm bleeding out. I got shit wrapped up. I'm trying to hold on to it and keep it fucking closed. And I called my boss, who's also a really good buddy of mine. I was like, hey, I just cut my hand really, really bad, and I'm bleeding out, and I'm trying to get it to stop, and it's soaking through everything. Can you fucking get me to the hospital? Because I need to get to the hospital. I'm fucked up, So he fucking got me to the hospital. I got in there, man. Excellent care. Excellent treatment. I couldn't have asked, really, for a better nurse and doctor. They took real good care of me, and they fucking put a shit ton of stitches in my finger. The downside is this. The doctor said what I'm most concerned about with this wound is not the wound itself, but she believes that I may have cut the tendon that runs across the top of my finger. She believes that I may have damaged it or cut it, and she's not sure yet, but I may have to go to a hand specialist and get, who knows. But for now, I need to go back in a week, and I need to get checked up again, make sure everything's healing properly. The stitches are going to be in for quite a while. I can't take this thing off at least until tomorrow. I'm going to take it off, clean it a little bit more, and maybe let it be exposed to some open air. She said that would be the best thing to do. And then if I'm going to do anything that requires me getting dirty or be somewhere for a long period of time, that I should cover it and put it back in the the splint. So that's what I got here. Oh, and by the way, I got the fucking knife sitting right here, and there is actually still a fucking speck of blood on it. But if you can see here, you see how the fucking safety catch jammed over to the fucking side? That's what happened. And I went whoosh, right up the side. So I've got to fix that, and I got to do that knife review. It will come, and for those that don't catch this live stream, I will fucking tell the story in that, and I'll make sure it is quite comical in some ways. Alright, let's check out some questions here. Who is my favorite character in Grease? I would say Kaneki, and also I really liked Leo, the gang leader from the Scorpions. I thought they were very realistic. The whole Danny Sandy thing was very schmaltzy. I didn't like it. Yeah, I like Cold Steel. I actually have a Cold Steel plug knife that I used to carry with me, and I've got nothing but great things to say from Cold Steel. They make great swords, great knives, battle axes, the whole thing. Pall Mall or Lucky's? I like Lucky's. I don't mind Pall Mall. The thing I do like about, or they also, as they pronounce them in the UK, Pall Mall. Just here in the U.S., they're called Pall Mall. But the thing I like about the Pall Mall Unfiltered over like the Luckies and the Camels is that they're longer. You actually get more bang for your buck on a Pall Mall. But when it comes to the taste and everything and the old school classic, I mean, I know Camels are real popular. They've always been real popular. Luckies, but man, Lucky Strikes, I love Lucky Strikes. You guys know that. Cheers from Sweden. Cheers from the U.S. We got Sweden represented in the house here. Tunnel snakes rule. Okay, that's a good question. You guys are thinking about starting a greaser group at your school, but you're afraid of getting made fun of. I get this question a lot. I'm going to answer it. You guys got to understand, no matter who you are or what you do in your life, there's always going to be somebody out there that's going to make fun of you, that's going to be jealous, that's going to talk shit, that's not going to get it, that's just going to be ignorant. You're going to find it, no matter what you do. The thing is, if you really want to get into this, then do it. And don't give a fuck. Just do what you want to do. That's what being a greaser is about. It's being rebellious. It's doing what you want to do. The cats in the 50s paid a heavy price for dressing the way they did, listening to the music they listened to, getting involved with motorcycle racing and hot rodding, and all that stuff was considered delinquent behavior. I mean, fuck, but they did it, and they really brought a lot to the world. Back in those days, to wear a t-shirt, jeans, and a leather jacket was, oh geez, that's a hood, that's a fucking hoodlum. Now look at people. They may not wear the retro style leather jacket and jeans or shirts and stuff, but people wear leather jackets all the time and they don't get stopped by cops or harassed. So they brought a lot to the forefront, and us as the modern day greasers are continuing that legacy. And really, it's still about that rebel mentality, that rebel spirit, and just doing what you want to do, Can you sport a 70s Elvis hairstyle and still be a greaser? I personally was never a fan of Elvis in the 70s. I mean, really, when he got to the early 60s is really when I stopped listening to anything Elvis. But, he just had it really way overdone. It was all feathered and bushy, and he had the mutton chops and the whole thing, and you can do it if you like. It's just it's not very 50s authentic, but then again, a lot of the modern greaser hairstyles are not exactly 100% authentic to the 50s, so. Can you tell somebody off that is bashing you for being a greaser? Yeah, stand up for yourself, man. Always. Whether they're bashing you for being a greaser or they're trying to fucking take something off your lunch tray or whatever, man. It's like, fucking stand up for yourself. Don't let people fucking try to make you feel bad because you want to do something different. Fuck, dude. It's like, can you imagine how boring and shitty it would be if everybody was the same? What's the fucking fun in that? What's the spice of life, Where did the sides go? I went back to the classic look, man. Just kind of got tired of combing the extra hair, and I was like, I'm going back to what I used to do, and hey, I like it. It's all good. But I definitely wanted to grow the sides and the back out to do tutorials on how to do the classic look, to get the classic elephant's trunk, the ducktail, the pompadour, and like the Fonzie hairstyle and, some of the other 50s hairstyles. I really wanted to try to cover that, so that's why I grew the sides and the back out, so I could show you guys the stuff that I learned growing up, and because I used to always have the sides and the back when I was young. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have a video covering greaser lingo and languages. It also has a link in the description below that has a whole fucking dictionary online where you guys can check out different lingo and phrases, and then you can kind of start studying it and start linking together sentences, you know? You've been a greaser for 2 weeks and people have been saying stuff about you, and a kid threw his food at you. Throw the food back. You know, motherfucker sitting there throws a corn dog at you or something like that, pick that shit up and fucking chuck it right in his face. Throw it back. Go fucking flip his lunch tray in his face. Can you smoke Xanax and die? Hashtag Mad Dog. Well, first off, it's Mad Man. I would not say to ever fucking smoke Xanax or snort that shit. And if you don't even need to take that for an actual fucking real condition, don't take that shit. Stay away from Xanax, man. Bad shit. I had friends that fucking used to abuse Xanax so bad that they couldn't get off the shit and they had to wean themselves off little by little or they would get fucked up. Don't play with Xanax. What should you do if they call your engineer boots high heels? Tell them, fucking put your boot up on the fucking table and pull your cuff up and say, it's about the manliest shit you're ever going to see in your fucking life. And then fucking walk off with an attitude. That's the thing, guys. Don't take shit from people. They don't like it, tough shit. Maybe you don't like them. You know, it's like people like say, oh, I don't like the way you dress. Well, fuck it. Maybe I don't like the way you dress either, man. So what are we going to do about it? Fuck it. Engineer boots with rings. Engineer boot, any boot, the boots that have the rings on them, they're called harness boots. I did a little bit of checking on the history of harness boots. I couldn't find a lot on it. I do probably need to do a little bit more studying on it, but as far as I can track it back to, I can track it back to maybe the mid-60s at best. They were made for motorcycle riding. They were made to ride motorcycles as a proper motorcycle boot. It gives you the same protection that an engineer boot will, you know. Is it classic to the 50s? Not really. I mean, I don't know if there were ever any harness boots around. I never seen any pictures of them. They've never been sported in any old school 50s movie or any movie about the 50s. For the authentic greaser boots, it was either basically like lace up, you know, combat style boots or engineer boots. Engineer boots were, of course, kind of like the creme de la creme of boots. They're kind of like the main boot for the greaser style. Yeah, black Converse high tops or low tops will work for the style. Also, the white low tops or high tops will work. I knew some cats in my era that did the all black high tops and low tops. So yeah, Converse, PF Flyers, Keds, they'll all work. Hey, Romania's in the house. Cheers from the U.S. Oh, there it is. Let's see. Buzz cut and being a greaser. Short hairstyles with the greaser look. A lot of cats, not actually a lot, but some cats in the 50s did sport like, you know, your proper flat tops and even some buzz cuts. I'm a little bit up in the air on this. I mean, even though that it was done in the 50s, typically the greaser look when it comes to the hair has always been like an elephant's trunk or some kind of like a flop and wave with the sideburns or a pompadour or something of that nature. I mean, I wouldn't recommend you get a buzz cut to be a greaser hairstyle. But I mean, if you have one, you have one. I mean, I knew cats that would cut their hair and then it would take them like half a year to grow it back out. But I mean, if you want to go for a buzz cut, I mean, it's up to you. Oh, we got Russia here. Solid. Hey, you got Kosovo here too. Man, we got people from all around the world. Let's see. What should you wear for being a greaser girl? Hey, a good channel for you to check out if you want to get into like the actual proper greaser girl fashion. Check out Rock and Roll Joker. I feature her on my channel here. She's from the UK, but she knows all about the actual greaser chick outfits and how to put them together. See, like, I grew up with greaser girls when I was in high school, and I can tell you guys this, and I covered a video about this. You can find it down in my videos. The difference between greaser chicks and pinups, and there is a big difference. Hey, I'm seeing things about glasses here. I have glasses, cats. I can't see real great far distances. Like, I can't make out like details on signs and stuff like that at great distance. I was like that since high school. I do own a pair of glasses, and I do wear them from time to time. I'm not real fond of wearing them, but I do wear them from time to time. So, I mean, hell, you gotta wear glasses, you gotta wear glasses. If you want to do contacts, do that too. No problem. Roman, that's a good point. A lot of countries in the 50s and 60s, like the UK, for instance, they all had their versions of like greasers and rockabillys. Like for instance, in the UK, the teddy boy thing is brought up quite a bit in the UK as the greasers, like from America. But really, our hep cats, like in the 50s, and our zoot suiters looked a lot more like teddy boys. I mean, they had the hair and stuff, but they would wear like the like the zoot suits or like the drape jackets, and they would go out and really look fucking spiffed up, really good. But the actual, like, for instance, the UK greasers were like the cafe racers, or they call them leather boys, cafe racers, or like the rockers and stuff like that. And they came up about the same time as the US greasers did as well. I mean, it was a ex-World War II thing. Motorcycles, and then into the hot rods. But, I mean, yeah, this stuff started here, but it spread out through the world very, very fast when you started having records being shipped overseas to Europe and, Russia and all kinds of, like, places. You started seeing it spread everywhere. Am I an Elvis fan? Yeah, to a degree. I mean, I'm not like a big fucking diehard Elvis fan where I think Elvis was the best, rockabilly singer and rock and roll singer. I don't think he was the best. I think he was very hyped up. There's a whole lot of other cats that really did some hardcore stuff, but I mean, Elvis is always going to be a main staple in the rockabilly culture, the rock and roll culture, and always will be basically a greaser. I mean, Elvis very much was a greaser and lived his life that way, at least in the early days. Blonde greasers. No reason you can't be. A lot of you guys know Ozark. Ozark has blonde hair. He's a greaser. You know what I mean? It's like, shit. It doesn't have to do with your hairstyle. You can be redhead or brown hair, black hair, blonde hair. Shit, it don't matter. I've been into a few. I've been in a few, my fair share of a few fights. I was always pretty good at staying out of trouble when it came to that. But there's a few times I had to get into fights and defended myself, so. It's like I tell you guys, don't go looking for trouble, but if it finds you, handle your business. Don't fucking be like, oh, you know what I mean? Handle your business, do what you gotta do. Hey, we got Germany represented here. Thank you very much. Appreciate the kind words, man. Awesome, cat. Hey, we got Haiti represented here. Greetings from the U.S. to Haiti. Awesome. So I watched Sons of Anarchy. I did, originally when it first started, like the first season, I remember I caught the first season, watched all of it. And then throughout the years, I'd watch just little bits here and there as I could. Watch an episode here, watch an episode there. And then, of course, I caught up on everything on, like, fucking YouTube, just checking out clips. Cool show. Hell of a show. It's all about the one percenter, like, biker club thing, motorcycle club. A little bit different than the greaser thing, but hell, the greaser thing did start from the original one percenters of, like, the, World War II generation. So, but what they became later on is very different from what they started as. But hell, it's got motorcycles and leather and shit like that. Fuck. Good action show, too. Ooh, that's a good question. Wrestling team and having the hair. I would say this would be my best recommendation. If you want to have the hair, that's cool. You might want to keep it shorter, maybe more like what I do, close on the sides and the back. And then for the actual product that you use in your hair, remember, you don't want greasing your hair. You don't want any kind of oily, petroleum, waxy-based stuff in your hair. Because you can basically get out of headlocks and shit, and as you sweat, it'll run down your face, onto your neck and your shoulders, and you'll, get popped for greasing. You don't want to do that. So you might want to go with maybe a hair gel or something like that. In that case, I mean, fuck, hair gel, I knew some guys that used it from time to time for whatever reasons, but I think that's a really good reason to use hair gel. If you want to do the wrestling team, but you still want to have some hair, keep it close cropped, smaller pompadour, put gel in it, I think you'll be alright. Was James Dean a greaser? Maybe not, because you gotta figure, okay, that's a good question. The term greaser, it's a little bit more a modern term. Back then, it was more of a racial slur. You know what I mean? It was like an ethnic slur towards like Italians and Irish, Puerto Rican, Mexican, Cuban. It was more of like the long greasy hair and the leather jackets. It was a hood kind of thing. It transferred from this slur into an actual descriptive term of a style, okay? And the thing about it is that, wait a minute, hold on a second, I'm losing track here. James Dean was a rebel. Was he a greaser by today's standards? Well, yes. I mean, hell, he lived his life that way. He rode motorcycles, wore leather jackets, engineer boots, had the hair up. You know what I mean? He was wild as fuck. James Dean was crazy. And the thing is about James Dean is he really perpetuated, the whole rebel mentality. In the 50s, they were more referred to as like the rebels and the hoods. Maybe not so much greasers, but rebels and hoods, and he very much was a part of that. What are you supposed to do when you play football, not soccer? I would again say the same thing that I said to the guy who was talking about wrestling. Close cropped on the sides and the back. Use a hair gel. I think you'd be all right. Don't greasers usually not have beards? Some do, especially the modern day. It's always been kind of a thing in the modern day to have the beard. And also to have a beard of some sort in the 50s was pretty rebellious because back in those days, everybody was pretty much clean shaven. I mean, you didn't see it a lot, but it definitely has its place more in the modern era, I would say. And I'm not a cat from the 50s. I'm not an original era guy, so like I've always said, I'm a mix between the old school. I keep the old school tradition and style alive, but I am in the modern era, and I do mix a little bit with the modern, of course. I mean, why would I not? Can you listen to other stuff than rockabilly? Sure. There's all kind of stuff, man. Even in the 50s, you had rockabilly, doo-wop, you even had still some swing and some fast-paced jazz, rock and roll. And then, of course, you get into the 60s rock and roll, punk rock, into the 70s, metal, psychobilly that came in the late 70s into the early 80s. There's all kind of stuff, You don't have to just listen to one specific genre. I don't even listen to one specific genre. I like a lot of different stuff. Typically old school stuff, but I like a lot of subculture music. Green Day's alright. They're like more modern pop punk. You know what I mean? But their songs are catchy. They're cool. I personally am not a big fan of alternative rock. Maybe some is okay. I mean, again, it really just... Listen to what you want to listen to. But if you're a greaser, you should have a love for old 50s rock and roll. Old, 40s swing, early, late 40s, early 50s rockabilly, doo-wop from the 50s and 60s, into the early 60s. You should have a love and respect for that, because it's part of our culture. Seen The Wild One? What do I think? Yeah. Matter of fact, I saw The Wild One before I saw Rebel Without a Cause. The Wild One was based off of real incident. 1947, the Hollister incident. They actually hold a motorcycle rally ever since, pretty much. It's a big motorcycle rally in Hollister, California. The movie The Wild One was based off an actual incident that actually did happen. Biker gangs came in, they took over the whole fucking town, they partied, they drank, they fought, they raced their motorcycles, dragging for beers and all that. It's all based off real stuff. Of course, Hollywood, they made it a bit of a love story as well, and they took some liberties, which, Hollywood always does. But man, great movie. Loved it. Canada represented. Cheers from the U.S. to Canada. How you doing, Cat? I love that. You had your waterproof phone in the shower. It's like, oh shit, man's on. Gotta jump out real quick. Well, I'm glad it's worth it, man. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being a part of this. Appreciate it. What could you wear instead of engineer boots or Converse? Well, that's a good question. Actually, I'm going to be covering that in a video coming up probably within the next couple of weeks. Something to also remember, not every greaser in the 50s wore engineer boots or even Converse. A lot of them wore lace-up shoes, like work shoes or like loafers, penny loafers as well. That was also very, very common in those days. And I own a couple of pair. I actually have a proper pair of wingtips, all black wingtips. I have a pair of course, my black and whites, which you guys have seen. I also have a couple of they're casual dress work shoes. You know what I mean? They're leather. You shine them up and everything if you like. But it's like the stuff the guys would wear if they're working in a factory or something like that. They're lace-up shoes. A lot of teens in those days, they didn't have a lot of money. You got to figure the greaser subculture comes from the poor and working class neighborhoods, and a lot of them didn't always have money, so they wore what they had. So lace-up shoes, like dress shoes, more casual dress shoes, are definitely a part of the culture. All right, we got a two-part question here. I'm going to cover the greaser cowboy boot thing, I'm not getting into the politics tonight, guys. With the cowboy boots, yeah, I would say probably, especially like in Texas and in the South, you would have seen a lot of cowboy boots. Remember, the different regions here in the U.S., the different states, they did it a little bit differently. It's like I've had older cats come on here from different places, and they might question me about why I maybe say certain things, or the way my style looks, or the way I do it is a little bit different. You guys got to remember, I grew up in Southern California. You know what I mean? Los Angeles County, Long Beach, California, North Side. And I used to know a lot of older cats that were greasers back in the day. That's what we learned from. It was like passed down from each generation, basically. And we had our own style of doing it. Do I have cowboy boots? Yeah, I've got like 3 pair. And I do wear them from time to time. Why the hell not? I like them. I just don't like them as much as engineer boots. I like engineer boots the most. I didn't break my finger, I actually cut it. I talked about it earlier in the live stream. Give me 1 second, guys. The back teeth are floating. I gotta fucking take a piss. So I'll be back with you in a sec. Alright, here we go. Back in the fucking saddle. Giddy up. So you recently turned into a greaser. You seem like guy has tips. Wait, hold it, whoa. Things are moving fast here. Yeah, I also did boxing as part of my martial arts training. Did greasers fight with non-greaser gangs in my time? Not really. We did have a little bit of outside pressure from just regular people. Like, in our school we had a group called the Pretty Boys, and they were like the ones that wore the long or baggy dicky pants and everything, with the long pro club t-shirts with all the fucking bling and jewelry and crap, and the fucking close lineup haircuts. They didn't like us, we didn't really like them, we didn't get on too much. When I first started greasing, we had beef with the punk rockers. I didn't have beef with them personally, but it was started with some of the older cats, and it trickled down to us younger guys. But for the most part, no, we didn't really fight with any other gangs. It was all pretty much kept within. Do greasers smoke weed? Here's the thing, man. I had cats that I grew up with that did. It was like their own personal choice. I never did. I don't dig it. I don't condone it. Especially in the 50s. You guys gotta understand, weed in the 50s was like a whole fucking different thing. It's like, they didn't even want to talk about it half the time. But, I don't think anybody should be smoking weed. I don't think anybody should really be smoking anyway. I do it because I smoke just regular cigarettes because that's me. Where did I first meet Big Bird? Ninth grade. End of ninth grade. High school. I don't know if you were here from the beginning, Phil, where I talked about what happened to my finger. Yeah, I cut it on that 13-inch stiletto last night when I was trying to make a review video. I was trying to rush it because I had broke it, and I was trying to rush it and fix it real quick, and I ended up slicing up my finger down to the bone. Really fucked it up good. Bled a lot. Had to go get stitches, the whole bit. Honestly, it didn't hurt that much. It was like a very dull pain. It's sore as fuck today. I was out there fucking working, doing tree work and shit, man. I was doing shit one-handed. And, like, if I would extend my finger or whatever in a certain way, I was like, oh, god damn, that shit fucking hurts. Do I condone greaser gangs? Not gangs. Greaser gangs? No. Social clubs, little groups, whatever, little party groups, that's fine. Actual gangs that hold down turf and fucking fight and get into a lot of shit, I don't condone it. I was a part of that world. I was not a gang member, but I was an associate, a hang-around. And I hung out with a gang in North Long Beach, a greaser gang, not naming names. Those guys are still around. I don't want to implicate nobody on nothing, but it's not a very healthy thing, let's put it that way. It can be fun, and it's kind of exciting when you're young, but it ain't worth it. And pretty much most of the guys that I knew that were doing the gang thing back in the day, man, they moved on. You know, they got families and jobs and shit. You know, they're not trying to fucking do that stuff no more. Do I like drugs? Fuck no. Do I have an old school car? Sadly, no. I wish I did. Someday. There we go. You know, throughout life, you're going to probably acquire a few different nicknames, like I did. Some do, some don't. So if you want to keep Froggy, then keep it, you know. How do I like Texas? Just fine. I think Texas is pretty cool. It's pretty wild out there. Hey, don't worry about it, John. I'm still here. Be here for a little bit. Thanks for joining us. Zippo or Bic? I like Zippo. I mean, you guys know me. I mean, fuck it. Always with a Zippo. But I do use Bic from time to time. Bic is a good lighter. Here's a little tip for you cats. Any of you guys that use Zippo lighters, when your flint goes out, the little part that the striker wheel under here, you know, rubs up against it, makes a spark. When that shit goes out, one of the best flints that you can get is out of a fucking Bic lighter. Because I've gotten the Zippo flints before. They come in a little pack. You just, you know, peel them out, fucking take the spring, you screw and spring out, drop them down the thing, put them in. They don't last as long as Bic flints. I don't know who makes the flints for Bic. If they make them themselves, they just fucking buy them from somewhere or what. But what I do is I pop the fucking striker wheel off in the spring out of the Bics, the old Bics that I've had or somebody gives me. I always have my friends like, oh yeah, my shit's, oh, you know, it's fucking empty. And they just give it to me because I know that I use it for the flints. That shit lasts a long time, actually. What do I think of belt buckles? Belt buckles are great. I had a couple when I was younger. I had like a cowboy belt buckle with my initials on it. It was really kick-ass. I have a picture of it, actually, on my Instagram from when I very, very, very first started. And then later on, I got the original Lucky 13 belt buckle. It was like, the black and silver belt buckle was flat. Lucky 13 was like their very first belt buckle, basically. Had that as well. What's my favorite style leather jacket? I like the old school style bomber jackets, and I like the proper retro, shot motorcycle style leather jackets as well. What was the worst high school teacher I ever had? There was a couple. And it depends on what you mean by worst. Was it worst as an attitude or just as a teacher overall? I'd say one of the crappiest, and I don't mean, as I get older, I kind of feel bad for some of the stuff I did. One of the crappiest teachers that we had was my algebra teacher. And we used to fuck with him constantly. Really fucked with him. And he was a big time boozer, man. Like, I remember I used to have to stay for tutorial. And this is where I found this out. He was, I'm sitting there in class in tutorial. He's doing problems on the board. I'm like copying the shit, trying to do the fucking problems. I suck at algebra. Still fucking suck at algebra. Fuck that bullshit. But he comes over to check my work, and I can smell whiskey on his breath. Sure enough, man, he was nipping off a bottle that he had in his fucking desk drawer. He had a lot of problems. But some of the other crappy teachers I had this like hippy-dippy fucking liberal fucking art teacher that I didn't like. And most of you guys that subscribe and have heard some of my stories, you know about her. And then I had in 12th grade, I had to do an English class as well there to make up some more credits. And she was like this little hippy-dippy, like liberal teacher or whatever. And where I come from and the cats I grew up with, that was just bullshit to us. It's like, that's not how we live. That's not the fucking shit we see and deal with on the streets every day. So I didn't like her, and we never got on. Hey, awesome, Nolan B. Solid, man. I'm glad that I was able to inspire you to get into things, man. Awesome. Hopefully the greaser and rockabilly culture will, be something you stick with and you like. Do greasers carry guns? Interesting question. I have an answer. Let's start in the 50s. In the 50s, most greasers and gangs did not carry guns. But they did too. Some actually did. Most did not, but some did. Mostly it was done with, fist on fist, flesh on flesh. You'd see knives, chains, bats, pipes, glass bottles, brass knuckles, things like that. And those were considered really bad gang fights. Something else that was also very much a part of the culture was zip guns. If you guys don't know what a zip gun is, it's a homemade gun. Back in the day, they'd literally make it out of a fucking piece of pipe with a fucking nail and a spring used as a firing pin in the mechanism, and they would pull back a bolt, and it would be like a 22, maybe a 38, which was kind of overdoing it in that time. Usually a 22. They'd pull the bolt back in. It was used for close range. I mean, it's the barrel's not fucking spiraled or anything like that. It's not rifled out, so it's not going to spin. There was no sights on it. So you would literally pull the bolt back, let it go, and go bang! The fucking nail would hit the fucking, the primer on the bullet, and the bullet would fucking eject and fire. You know what I mean? Some of the cats when I was in high school, some of the older guys, like they had some guns in their house. I mean, in California, you're not allowed to carry them. I mean, maybe a couple did. I never ran into any greasers that carried guns. I personally, I have guns, I own guns, I go to shooting range, and, stuff like that. So, do greasers carry guns? Greasers are human beings. Greasers are regular people in some way or another. It's like, you can carry a gun for self-protection. I mean, you know, you never know if you're going to run it, especially nowadays with all this fucking school shootings and fucking mass shootings and shit. You know, if you live in a state where you can carry, you know, a weapon, you're probably better off, you know, getting trained, knowing the laws, doing it properly, carrying a weapon, and who knows, you may save somebody's life someday. You never know what can happen. Always try to do the right thing, you know? Tip on losing weight. Good question. Some of you guys know that when I was younger, I got into bodybuilding. I wasn't like pro or anything like that, or even amateur. I just did it to work out, get strong, get big at the time. Best tip I can give you for losing weight is something called the ketogenic diet. Okay, and what that means is no carbs, no carbohydrates. Okay, even the healthy carbs like brown rice or like sweet potato or you know, oatmeal, oats. Stay away from those. Stay away from all carbs. You eat healthy fats from, like, you know, your meats and your poultry and stuff like that. You eat healthy. Eat your. Hold on a second. I'm trying to get trained here. You eat healthy, high fats and high protein. The reason being is the body likes to burn carbohydrates for energy. Okay, calories are turned to carbs, and they're used to, then they burn them as energy, so you can keep functioning throughout the day. When the body is carbohydrate depleted, it goes to the next source of energy, which is fat, the fat cells that are in your body. So basically it starts kind of like eating away at those fats. If you keep giving yourself high healthy fats that you get from like steaks, you know, like hamburger or steak, you know, especially your beef, if you give them those healthy fats and high protein, what it does is it teaches your body to burn fat instead of carbs. So a lot of people say, oh, I'm just not going to eat any fats and, you know, I'm going to lose weight. Not so much. The body, you have to teach it to burn fat, and that's the way you do it. I actually have pictures from, like, you know, last year when I was leaned out, had abs, and everything was popping. I was working out hard. I don't get a chance to work out as much as I used to. Maybe I'll post a picture on Instagram soon enough. You guys will see. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Flannels. So the flannels that you're seeing where you go are $40, maybe on up. Honestly, I don't know what stores you're shopping at. I don't even know what country you live in. If you live in the U.S., if you go to pretty much any big box store, like maybe a Target or a fucking Walmart, you can get them for pretty cheap. You know what I mean? Always look for the deals. If you guys want, I can fucking maybe do a video, you know, for like Amazon where you guys can go get some really cool flannels for a cheap price. You know, that might be a product deal video I can put up very soon, if you like. But I would say try to go with like the big box stores. All of us cats did in high school. I mean, shit, we didn't have money. We hardly had anything. You know what I mean? We used to also go to fucking like Goodwill, Salvation Army, the Purple Heart store. You know, like all these different places, like, you know, secondhand clothing stores. We get our flannels there as well. You know, you get it for like $5-10 there. Okay, that's a good question. I know that basically you can't even have a knife in your house besides like maybe a cutting knife or like for chopping vegetables or, you know, slicing meat and things like that. You guys are not allowed to even carry like folding pocket knives or even have them in your house. It's illegal. Are these, you know, accessories important? Not really. I mean, if you guys don't really have a big weapons problem, there's really no reason to have to carry them, you know? Here in the U.S., knives, guns, all kinds of stuff are out and about everywhere. And especially because we have such a high criminal element, you know, you really have to keep yourself armed. Because whether or not, you know, the regular everyday citizen can get a weapon and carry it legally, the criminals always will. I mean, especially me growing up in fucking California, you know, the underground and the black market for guns and all kinds of stuff is extremely high. And trust me, people that are out to fucking do harm, they're not abiding by the laws. They don't give a fuck about going to jail. They'd rather be in jail, a lot of them. So, you know what I mean? If you don't have that problem there in the UK, or especially where you live, don't worry about it. Use your fist, use your feet, your knees, your head, your elbows. You'll be alright. Greaser bodybuilder from Chicago. Awesome, dude. How do I get my hair so perfect? I don't know if it's perfect, especially today, man. I had fucking put a hat on because my head was so damn cold when I was working earlier. I just threw some fucking grease in it and combed it up. You guys got to understand, I've been experimenting for many, many years about doing different hairstyles. I've tried pretty much every hairstyle, and I know my hair. I know how to cut my own hair. I know how to do a lot of different stuff with it. I know about the different products that I use, what works for me the best. I have thick, wavy hair, and I know how it flows, how the patterns go, and I know a few ways to cut it to make it do what I want. A lot of it comes down to you have to know your hair. You have to know what it responds to the best, and you have to style it, man. You have to train it to do what you want it to do. It's about the best, advice I can give on it. Do I find many fake shot perfectos online secondhand? Basically any motorcycle style jacket that looks like a shot is basically a knockoff of it. You know what I mean? Shot was the first to actually do the proper motorcycle, jacket for motorcycle riders back in the day. There's a whole lot of brands out there, and mine is not a Shot. Mine, hell, I couldn't even afford a Shot. I'm not, I can't pay no fucking $700 for a fucking leather jacket. It'd be nice to, but I can't. There's all kinds of deals on leather jackets out there. Just gotta look. I also did a video about covering a really cool motorcycle style leather jacket that I have. It's in one of my videos, guys. Product deals. Check it out. Okay, sunglasses. Good question. One of the best, my favorite kind of sunglasses to wear are aviators. Aviators, they're kind of like, they're kind of rounded, almost like a small teardrop, kind of rounded, and they have a little brim that goes across. Very old school, very retro. That's what I typically wear. I also got my 60s style fucking round glasses. I don't know what the hell those are called. You can find them online. They're called steampunk glasses, but they're actually like a 60s style retro, sunglasses. Also, your old school, Ray-Bans. I mean, those are fine too. Those are very 50s as well. So check those out. Are Swiss Army knives okay for greasers to carry around? Depends on what you want to use it for. For self-defense, I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, could you do damage with it? Sure. But I wouldn't recommend a Swiss Army knife for that. But if you just want an overall little pocket knife to carry for cutting boxes open, or if you work in a shop, you got a job that you do where you're cutting fucking string or tape or whatever, sure, why the hell not? Utility knife is great. I have a couple. Good question. Were there any African American greasers? Yes. And I actually want to cover a video about this because I actually have some fucking pictures from the 50s of African American greasers. They existed. Everybody, all the cats, whether you were, of Asian descent, Hispanic descent, Irish, Italian, black, whatever, yeah, there were greasers all over. Motorcycle riders, leather jackets, hot rodders, they existed all over, man. It's not just a white thing of some sort or a Hispanic thing. It's an American thing. It encompasses everybody. And I have pictures that cover that. and I'll be doing a video about that pretty soon. What do I think about Doc Martens for greasers? The Doc Marten thing was more of a punk rock and psychobilly thing. A lot of, rockabilly cats, greasers in my era did wear them from time to time. Something you've got to understand is Doc Martens is a UK thing. Okay, Doc Martens makes great boots. Love them. Never had a pair, but I worn a pair before. I had like a pair of my buddies one time. He let me borrow them when I was like younger. Great boots. I have no problem with them. It's a UK greaser thing. Definitely a punk thing, and a lot of psychobillies always wore the Doc Martens as well. So I think they're a great boot, great quality, one of the best you can get. Should you buy engineer boots or should you buy a stiletto? I say go with the boots first, man. Unless you really need some kind of a knife to protect yourself, or you just want something for your collection. But honestly, go with the boots first. Save up for your boots. If you want to get a knife later on, go for it then. Should you throw a high school party with alcohol? That's a good question. I'm not going to recommend you do anything. What you want to do is what you're going to do. I can't change what you're going to do. A lot of the cats I grew up with drank alcohol. We had them at school. And the guys I knew came to school drunk. I drink. I have no room to talk when it comes to alcohol. I would recommend you don't, especially in today's age, because it's not like it was, when I was in high school. Things are a lot different now. But again, you're going to do what you're going to do. I'm not telling you to do it. It's not a good idea, especially if you get caught. You never know what the fuck you're going to get into, especially in today's world. So fucking insane. Nowadays, you can't do shit. You can't have fun. You can't, you know what I mean? It's like everything's a big fucking deal these days. But I would recommend you don't do it. How do engineer boots hold up on a motorcycle while changing gear? Fine. You got to figure in the 1950s, that's what a lot of bikers, that's kind of where the greaser style came from, is the original bikers right out of World War II that were riding motorcycles. They predominantly wore engineer boots. It was for, originally engineer boots were for the train, the train industry. Like the guys that would shovel coal and stuff, the firemen would use those to protect their shins and ankles from the blade of the shovel and the hot coals and stuff like that in the fire. But the guys in the 50s, like the late 40s into the 50s, realized very quickly that the engineer boot was really good because there was no strings that would get caught in machinery, and it protected their shins and their feet and stuff from the wear and tear of the road and the heat from the motorcycle. So for shifting gears, it depends on the boots you get, depends on the motorcycle you have, and you just have to experiment. That's a great question right while I'm smoking. Do I think that the new generation should smoke? I have no room to talk. I smoke, okay? You can if you like. It's not the best thing to do in the world, but fuck, nothing's the best thing to do in the world. You watch the news, it's like, oh, this article says coffee is bad for you. Then there's 10 reasons why coffee is great for you by Dr. So-and-so. Oh, you shouldn't drink milk. Oh, actually, milk has these really cool benefits. You should drink milk. Don't take this type of over-the-counter prescription. Oh, this over-the-counter prescription is actually great. This is why chocolate's not good for you. Oh, chocolate's actually really good for you. In the end, guys, you're going to die. All of us are going to fucking die at the end, okay? Some things are worse for you than others, especially drugs. We do know that those fuck people up legitimately. If any of you guys live in a big city, just look at your fucking homeless population and look at them doing drugs and see how fucked up they are. Or even if you have friends that do drugs, see how fucked up they are. In the end, pretty much everything, we're all going to die. Do what you want to do. If you want to smoke, that's fine. If you don't get into it. I don't recommend anybody get into smoking. Or drinking, for that matter. Those are all personal choices that we make as individuals. I, as an individual, made those choices a long time ago. What's my favorite classic car? I really dig like the 32s and the 34, hot rods like the Fords. I really like those. Always been a really big fan of like the 49 Merc, and then like some of the early 50s like Chevy, cars and stuff. Even the trucks, like the late 40s Chevy trucks and stuff. I always dug those as well. Where can Americans buy Lucky Strike cigarettes? They're hard to find, actually. They are not easy to come by. I would honestly, this is what I would do, depending on where you are, I don't know where you're at, but I would go to a smoke shop, a proper smoke shop, and ask them if they have them. If they don't, ask them if they can order them for you. They may do that. I actually had a smoke shop in Long Beach who actually ordered Lucky Strikes for me. Go figure. There's a few places here where I'm at that has them, but a little rare to find. They're very expensive, like $7-8 a pack. It's definitely not a daily smoker unless you have a lot of money and you can afford to fucking blow $7 or $8 a pack, a day, or however many packs you smoke, or it all depends on a lot of things. But it's definitely something. If you are a smoker and you want to get some Lucky Strikes, see if you can get somebody to hook you up, a vendor to hook you up with them, and they're good. I like them. Do I like the Ramones? Yeah, definitely. Grew up with the Ramones. Had punk friends that listened to it and liked the Ramones, definitely. I always like Rockaway Beach, Blitzkrieg Bop, and I Want to Be Sedated, love that. And then GTO, good song. Damn, $13.50 for Lucky Strikes, fucking highway robbery, man. It's like, fuck it. This is bend over the table and fucking have a go at it, shall we, Talk about getting fucked. That sucks. I think I pay like $7.50 a pack, and even then I kind of feel, a little bad about myself. I'm like, oh, why the fuck did I spend that, Hey, they're Lucky Strikes. How old am I? 28. Be turning 29 in February next year. Late February. Oh shit. I'm getting old. Old man right here. Pack of cigs and $15 in Canada. Shit. I hope you guys get paid a better minimum wage than a lot of the states here. Or you guys got you make more money at your job somehow, but fuck, $15? How the fuck can you afford to smoke? How would I fix a torn leather jacket? I wouldn't. I actually have a torn leather jacket, one of my original ones, like the Fonzie jacket that got noted on here. It's one of my older jackets from high school. Got a big tear in it. Honestly, I don't know really dick about leather repair. I don't know shit about it, so I can't really tell you. You might want to take it down to a shop. Maybe they could tell you a little bit something more. Check something on YouTube about leather repair. I think they have kits and stuff that you can get for leather repair. You might want to check into that too. What do my parents think when I started greasing in high school? They were cool with it. They were okay with it. They didn't quite like it when I got myself into quite a bit of trouble, which I'm covering in the book. You guys will get to see all about all of what happened. So I'm saving a lot of stuff for the book. They didn't like it when I started getting into some serious shit, but overall they were very supportive of it. Yeah, Jake, I actually covered this earlier in the live stream. I cut it doing that. I was doing that review video for the 13-inch stiletto. Cut it down to the bone. Went to the hospital. Got stitched up. I'm all right. It's sore and it fucking hurts, but it's all right. You know, maybe I will do an audiobook eventually. We'll see what happens with that. You're a greaser and your friends are scaredy cats. What does it mean and how can they be a man? Become a man. Don't let people fucking scare you. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to represent who you want to be. You want to be a greaser, be a greaser. You know, get into it. No shame in it. You know? At the end of the day, guys, we're all people. You know, whether you're a punk, a metalhead, a fucking soch, pretty boy, whatever, greaser, rockabilly, psychobilly, we're all people. We all have our own individual likes and dislikes. And if somebody wants to fucking make you feel bad for what you like, well, fuck them. Who gives a shit, man? Realistically, okay, guys, realistically, think about it logically. Do those people pay your fucking bills? Do they put bread on your table? Do they help you in any fucking way, shape, or form? And if the answer is no, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? It's about you doing what you want to do, taking care of the people you love and respect, your friends, your family, whatever. And it's about doing the things that you want to do. They're always going to have haters. There's always going to be fucking people out there that don't like you, or don't like how you dress, or the way you talk, or the way you whatever. You know what I mean? You're always going to have it. You can't please everybody, and you shouldn't have to, and you shouldn't want to. You know, if somebody doesn't like the way I'm dressed, I'm like, I don't like the way you're fucking dressed. Fuck you too, bitch, you know? I don't give a shit. That's the best way to approach it. You gotta learn to not give a fuck. How can you have Elvis sideburns if you can't grow a beard? Depends on how old you are. I mean, if you're in your 20s and can't grow a beard or whatever, that happens, then if you can't grow them, you can't grow them, cat. You know what I mean? I don't really know what to tell you on that. If you're young, give it time. They'll come, hopefully. Have I tried Suavecito? No, I have not, actually. Actually, I have people like, oh, you should try it, you should try it. Big Bird, he knows a lot about Suavecito because he does use the stuff quite a bit. I just stick with the old school, classic, basic pomades. I should pick up a fucking can, and try some. I'll do that for a review. So be looking for that soon enough. If you're into punk music, can you still represent the greaser culture? As long as you have a love and respect for the rockabilly, the rock and roll, doo-wop, the stuff from that era. I listen to punk. Not a ton of it, because I'm not a punk rocker. I'm not, in love with, the whole punk rock style. I had a lot of friends that were punks. I grew up with punk. But, where my loyalty lies is definitely to the, the retro rockabilly greaser, music. And a lot of other things as well I like. You don't have to just listen to one type of, music. You can listen to a lot of stuff. Like I covered earlier in this live stream. I love Dion DiMucci. Dion and the Belmonts. My favorite song by them is I Wonder Why. I also, of course, love The Wanderer. And then, what's the other one? It came out in the 60s. I can't remember it right now. It's been a long day, guys. Do I work outside of YouTube? Of course. Got like 3 jobs, man. YouTube being one of them. The little bit of money I make off this, that does help out. But I got 2 other jobs that go along with the shit. So I was just working earlier today doing fucking tree work. Yeah, I love Run Around Sue. It's a good song. Kind of a depressing song. But, if you're going through the blues and you're sad and whatever, then yeah, it's a good song. I don't know a lot about, G-Eazy. I've seen a little bit of his stuff. I don't dig him. It's not something I'm into. He's like a cat. He's like a rapper that, like, fucking, sports the old school stuff. No. The culture in general doesn't dig that. It's... Don't even worry about G-Eazy. I've actually heard that question brought up before. No. That's fake-ass shit. What does the American greaser community think about the Mexican or Latin American greaser community? All the Mexican and Latin American greasers here in this country are Americans. We're all Americans, man. It's like they might have their roots from somewhere else, but fuck it, man. We're all one. The way it was in high school for us, man. It didn't really matter that, like, I was Irish, they were Mexican. We were all greasers, man. We all had love and respect for each other, and we still do. Make sure it's the firm hold suavecito. Thank you. Yeah, because you already know I have the thick wavy hair, so I'm probably going to need the real firm stuff. What are my other two jobs? I do tree work and roof work, and I also teach martial arts privately. I was a martial arts instructor for a long time out in California, and I still do it to this day. How do you think you could get into a party when not invited? Don't go to that party. If you're not invited, go somewhere else. Because if you do get into a party that you're not invited to, and, you could find yourself in some trouble. Do I own a firearm? Yeah, quite a few. I like to go out shooting and have fun as well. Is 15 too young to start greasing? No. Not at all. Shit, I started when I was like, 13, 14? Something like that. Give me 1 second, guys. Gotta go take a piss. Back teeth are floating again. Don't drink beer, guys. Beer will make you piss. Alright, guys. Here we go. Alright, let's see. Wow. Wow. Madman can eat a razor blade. That's real fucking nice. Damn it. And you can kiss my ass for that. Can eat a razor blade. Fucking moron. Bitch. Alright. Whoever your friends are, whoever you hang out with, are the ones that'll probably give you a nickname. Thanks, Cody, man. Always keeping it up. Always keeping up the hard work. Thanks for participating. Thanks for coming out. Enjoy it. Hang loose and always be safe. No, I'm not going to get into showing guns. It's not a gun channel. Maybe I'll do a video somewhere down the line when I go shooting or something like that when I do actually go from time to time. But I'm not getting into it. Did I ever smoke weed? No. Fuck no. Never was a thing of mine. I never liked it. Never got into it. What I think of Led Zeppelin? Yeah, I like Led Zeppelin. Do I draw? Yes, very much. All the designs that I do, like on my fucking stickers, t-shirts, buttons, pins, all that kind of stuff, yeah, that's all my, I hand draw that stuff, man. What's my opinion on Johnny Cash? Love Johnny Cash. Metallica? Yes. Can greasers be Mexican or nah? Yeah, of course, dude. Dude, all my friends in high school, because I grew up in Southern California in Long Beach, dude, they were all Mexican. I was like the, out of two, I was like one of the only white greasers, Irish. Where can you get a replica of the Lords of Flatbush jacket? I don't think they have a replica jacket. I mean, maybe they do somewhere. I've never seen it. Your best bet is to buy like a motorcycle jacket and get it, paint it with the Lords of Flatbush or something like that. The Lords or whatever you want to do. Explain the thing on the door? You mean the little fucking painting? That's Kilroy, man. Kilroy was here. The Kilroy phenomenon was one of the actual first trolling events, and it goes farther back than the little Kilroy character. The Kilroy character is predominantly World War II. And what soldiers would do is they would take paint and they would paint that little Kilroy character in places that you should not be able to get into. Like, for instance, if, like, and I don't know this if this actually happened, but say like some like fucking, you know, fucking sniper or, you know, fucking Army Ranger or something like that back in World War II were able to get into like a Nazi camp or something like that, or like a building. They might draw the little picture as they left, you know, whatever their mission was, maybe for like reconnaissance, you know, keep quiet, gather intelligence, maybe steal some documents. They would draw the little Kilroy character as a fucking jab, like a troll, at the enemy. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you're not supposed to be there, you're not supposed to be able to get there. Kind of like the Easter eggs that you guys find in, like, say, the Grand Theft Auto games, like the old GTA games. Like, you get to a place on the map, it says, you're not supposed to be here. That's basically what Kilroy is. It's a very old school thing. Yeah, been in a few fights my time. Been in a few fights, had to defend myself. I was always pretty much able to stay out of them, but every once in a while, and it still happens, every once in a while something comes along, gotta do what I gotta do. Favorite Elvis Presley song? My favorite, well, I actually have a couple. That's Alright Mama, My Baby Left Me, Milk Cow Blues, and of course I really do like, I like Jailhouse Rock is pretty cool. It's a good rock and roll song. Not really rockabilly, but it's a good rock and roll song. Damn, really fucking getting gassy right here. Woo! And then I like, let's see, what else from Elvis? I pretty much like the 50s Elvis. I don't really like anything past the early 60s. Oh, except, what is it? Devil in Disguise. I actually kind of dig Devil in Disguise. You're the devil in disguise. Oh, yes, you are the devil in disguise. I like that song. It's actually kind of cool. You know, I like Elvis's Blue Suede Shoes, of course, and even though he wasn't the first to do it, I know. Love Dion and the Belmonts. Always a big fan. What's my favorite Johnny Cash song? I like Stripes on My Shoulders. I like Stripes. Big John was a good song. I liked One Piece at a Time, which was a later song that Johnny Cash did. And of course, Boy Named Sue. Boy Named Sue was fucking funny. I love the ending. He's like, after he tells the whole story throughout the song, and he understands why his dad called him Sue, you know, to toughen him up. And he's like, and I think if I have a son, I'm going to call him Bill or George, anything but Sue. I just love that. That's fucking great. Okay, you're 14, you're at school, some of the kids like to pick at you for being a greaser. How do you earn respect without having to fuck somebody up? Be genuine, be upfront, have a code, live by it. Don't let people fucking put you down. You know, if they talk shit to you, talk shit back to them, man. Do what you gotta do. You know, look people in the fucking eye and tell them what the fuck you gotta say to them. It's like, don't fucking shy away from people. Walk with a purpose, you know, walk with a bit of an attitude. Don't fucking let people give you shit. Do what you gotta do. Just stand up for yourself, basically. People respect strength. Stand up, look people in the eye, stand up straight, don't slump over, don't put a foot on top of the other, don't fucking kind of like shy away in the corner. You know, let people know who you are. You know, and you fucking high five people, fucking give them a good one, you know? Handshake, good firm handshake. Look people in the eye. Don't shy away. Try that. See see if that works. Any advice for a kid who gets into fights a bit too much? Yeah, you might want to cool it off a little bit. Not everything has to be about fighting. You know, it's not about fighting, it's about... Some of the strongest cats that I knew didn't have to get into a lot of fights. They could handle themselves properly. They did what they had to do. But at the end of the day, they didn't always have to fight. Remember, communication is your first and foremost, thing. Talking to people. You don't just walk up to someone and be like, boom, hey, how the fuck are you? You know what I mean? You don't punch somebody in the face. That's not a greeting. That's not fucking civilized. Use communication. Talk to people. Look them in the eye. Stand up straight. Be strong. You know what I mean? What do greasers think about dickies like the pants or the jackets? Big time greaser thing. Here, when I was in SoCal, that's what a lot of greasers wore. I mean, we of course wear the jeans, the boots, the whole bit. But when it came to the pants, always go with the dickies, man. And the dicky jackets. The cotton dicky jackets. The Eisenhower style dicky jackets. Go with that. Good shit right there. Yeah, Johnny Cash, One Piece at a Time. Just covered that about 2-3 minutes ago. Great song. Love it. Very funny. Love that fucking song. I got it one piece at a time, and it didn't cost me a dime. You'll know it's me when I roll through your town. Gonna ride around in style. Gonna drive everybody wild. That's a good song. Especially at the very end, it was like, and the title weighed, 60 pounds or something like that. And he's like, well, what is it? It is a 41. It's a 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. It just goes up through the years. It's fucking great. If you guys haven't heard Johnny Cash's One Piece at a Time, go check that out. Fucking great song. All good, Vintage Rocker. I'm still here, brother. Thanks for joining us. Hey, and this time I was fucking on time. I've been doing the live streams enough now, and I fucking can get it going on time. I'll be damned. Thank you, Connor Price. Appreciate it, brother. Glad you're enjoying the content. Walk the Line? Hell yeah, Walk the Line's a great song. That's a Johnny Cash classic. I'll be streaming for maybe about another 20 minutes. Good replacement for Dickies. I can't give you a specific brand. I don't know what brands and stores you have around you. Man, pretty much any good cotton pants will do. Black, gray, dark gray. You can go with light gray too if you like. Stay away from white. They just get dirty very, very easily. Your khaki, tan type, slacks will work just fine. Do I like Western movies? Like Westerns, like the old spaghetti Westerns, Clint Eastwood and all the old, cowboy shows like Bonanza and fucking Gunsmoke and High Chaparral, for sure. I grew up on a lot of that stuff. No, actually got a whole nother fresh pack waiting for me, and if I run out of beer, I'll go get more when I'm relaxing and recuperating the fucking finger. What's my opinion on Michael Jackson? Didn't listen to much Michael Jackson. He's, not stuff I really ever got into. As a person, he's alright, I guess, There was, of course, we always used to tell Michael Jackson jokes back in the days. Like, here's a good Michael Jackson joke for you. Why did Michael Jackson go to Kmart? Because he heard little boys' pants were half off. I mean, I don't know if the charges that were brought against him were true. I mean, a lot of people fucking sue singers and celebrities, and they claim all kind of shit. I don't know if he fucking did it. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't have any proof either way. As a person, I guess he's okay, His music, never really got into it. The Jackson 5 early years was pretty cool. It was like more of it was the 70s style stuff. It was alright. but I was never a big fan. It's definitely not like rock and roll or rockabilly. So, do I think the Greaser style would have been more popular if Buddy Holly didn't die in the crash? No. Everything has its turn, man. Here's something you guys gotta understand about lifestyles and subcultures. For instance, the Greaser rockabilly subculture, it's always been here. It's been here since the 50s. It's had revivals over the years, like the 70s revival, the 90s Rebel revival, the 2000s, Viva, modern age revival. It's always been here, man. Do I think it would have been more popular? No. I think we just would have had a great rock and roll artist that was around a lot longer, honestly. The thing about it is this. Everything has its turn. It's always been here, and the cats that really get into it and they really have a love for it, they're always going to be. They're always going to be here. Like me. I've been around for, quite a while. Not on YouTube, but as a greaser, I've been around for quite a long time. It's always going to be here. It's never going to change. Everybody likes different stuff. And a lot of times, trends and fashion are recycled. And you can see this in our modern era where you start seeing people trying to dress retro, but they don't actually embrace the culture and the history and the music and the love for what it was. And that, I think, is sad. What am I doing for Halloween? Nothing. Probably staying in the house, because here's the thing, man. The thing that pisses me the fuck off is like when I go out on Halloween, I'm all dressed up. Oh, dude, like that's a great costume. You look like fucking, fucking John Travolta, Danny Zuko, fucking there goes fucking Fonzie. Like, fuck you. I'm not dressed up. I'm just doing my thing. So I try not to go out on Halloween. I get my shit early, and then I fucking just chill at the house. Thank you, Jose. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, brother. Have I ever tried residual pink? No, I have not. I don't know much about it. I'll look it up. I'll check it out, see what I can find about it. I'd never even heard of this stuff. Is that even a pomade? Favorite Buddy Holly song? Okay. Let's think. I really like, of course, That'll Be the Day. Maybe Baby. I like Maybe Baby quite a bit. Maybe Baby someday soon. Yeah, I kind of like that. Trying to think here. That's all I can come up with right now. Do I have any jokes appropriate for 6th graders or middle school? Not really. I mean, you guys know me. I'm straightforward and pretty gritty and raw. I don't know, man. I couldn't tell you. I have a lot of different jokes, but they're not very appropriate. I'm not PC, put it that way. Ray Vaughn was good as well. I like That'll Be the Day a little bit better than I like Ray Vaughn. I really dig that, guitar solo in That'll Be the Day. I dig that. I really do. Johnny B. Good, Chuck Berry, love that. It's good. Great song. Yeah, I love the song The Wanderer. Down in the Belmonts. Do I ever plan to shave my whole beard? Yeah, guys, you already know. I go through different hairstyles and beards constantly. I don't really like to keep the same look too long. What's my most expensive leather jacket? That would be my motorcycle jacket, which you guys have seen. Shit, I fucking saved up and worked my ass off all summer to get it. Got it in a leather shop in the mall back when I was in high school, like what, 10th grade, something like that. Probably my most expensive one. Cost, I don't know, a couple $100 maybe. Maybe like 175, 200, whatever. I don't really remember. It was a long time ago. That store isn't even around anymore where I got it. Do I like Demented Argot? Fuck yeah. Great psychobilly band. Had a lot of friends that were into psychobilly. That Demented Argot was always a main staple. Demented Argot, Mad Sin, Oscoptolepticos, Necromantics. Tiger Army was like pretty much dying out by that time. Stuff like that. That's really cool. Manoodle, thank you. I appreciate that, man. You know, that's why I try to do what I do, man. I try to share my experiences and how I did it with you guys and be able to teach you guys a little something, have a good time. And if I can bring a little bit of happiness to somebody's life or inspire them, make them feel better about their day, their existence on this planet or whatever, then I'm doing something good, you know? I try to always keep things positive. I try not to get too negative. Because I'll tell all of you guys this. Most of my life has been a lot of pain, and whether it's physical or mental, emotional, whatever, it's been a lot of pain. I've gone through a lot of shit in my life. And if I can leave the world a little bit better off than when I came into it, then hey, I can dig that. You know what I mean? What are my opinion on records? Love records. Honestly, I don't own any. Never did. I have some friends that always, got, records and stuff. They would always go through the garage sales, go to swap meets and stuff, get records. Never was my thing, but I love the sound of records, Very gritty, old school, and true, honest sound of the songs from back in those days. So, yeah, I love records. If I could use only 2 brands of pomade my whole life, what would it be? Great question. Probably be Murray Superior Hold and probably Murray Super Light or Royal Crown hairdressing. Either or, those would probably be the 2. I'd probably go with the Murray Superior Hold and the Murray Super Light. I'm a big Murray's fan. You guys know that. At least, the guys who've been with me for a long time know that. That went down the wrong tube. Why do people get pissed off at you when you call them cats? Because they don't understand what you're saying to them. It's old school slang. They just don't understand what you're saying. Gotta understand, man, slang throughout, the history of man has changed over and over and over, even to the point where certain words mean different things. But, cats and kittens, that was an old school way of calling guys and gals, girls and boys, men and women. Hey, what's up, cats and kittens? How you doing here? Madman here. You know what I mean? They just don't understand what it means. They don't jive with it. They don't get it. Not everybody's gonna understand. Do I like South Park? Not really. Never got into it. It's alright, I guess. But, never got into it. Do I ever plan on using water-based? I'll do a review on it, but would I use it as a daily thing? Probably not. Maybe in the summer. Maybe. I stick with the traditional stuff. You guys know that. Hey, I did it. I fucking snapped the bitch without burning my fucking bad finger. I love it. Anytime, Jose. Ooh, 1947 Roadmaster Buick in the garage. Do I have any tips on restoring it? No. I'm not a hardcore mechanic or anything. I can do basic maintenance on vehicles, change tires, brakes, fluids, stuff like that. But no, I wouldn't be able to begin to tell you. When you do inherit that car, you might want to take it to somebody who knows, especially about customs, classics, stuff like that. They'd probably be able to give you a better idea of what to do with it. And it all depends on what you want to do with it. If you want to keep it classic and traditional, by all means go for that. If you want to chop it, lower it, that's up to you. You know what I mean? Hot rod it out. Yeah. A good few of my friends from high school were in the Thrillbillies, the psychobilly band. I covered a video on it. Sadly, they are disbanded now. But, yeah. Still great friends of mine. Talk to them all the time. Whenever I can, at least. Hey, awesome, Carmen. Thank you. Cool, brother. I'll check it out when I log back into Instagram. I'll see it. Hopefully, at least. How long have I been online? Almost 2 hours tonight. I'll be logging off here shortly. I've had a very busy day, very tiring day. Have I ever learned professional fighting, like kickboxing or anything like that? Yeah. Dude, I'm a martial arts instructor. That's one of my jobs. So I've been doing it quite a bit. I know quite a few different styles of martial arts. Practiced and traded with a lot of different cats. Been in many classes, got my ass kicked quite a few times learning different styles. So, yeah. What's my Instagram? CrypticArt89. Should be my logo, the same one you see on here. With the same logo as this. With the Joker, Cryptic Art. Hey, by the way, cats, just to make mention, if you guys haven't noticed, I have buttons, like, pins that you can pin on a jacket, whether it's you could put it on a flannel, you could put it on a leather jacket, you could put it on a fucking, leather jacket, whatever, fucking denim jacket, don't matter. I got buttons. I also have some bandanas. They're on my Zazzle. The last video that I did where I covered like the update of what's coming up, like the book and everything else. I have all the links there. You guys can check them out. Of course, I got the t-shirts on Redbubble. I mean, pretty much like this right here. This is when I had all my shirts and stuff with, what was it? Teespring. But I still have a whole bunch of stuff up. Go check that stuff out, guys. I try to do a little bit of everything, a little bit of something for everybody, you know what I mean? I try to cover things for the cats, the kittens, if you're into hot rods, if you're just more into like, the greaser art, I try to cover a little bit of everything. So go check that shit out, guys. It all goes to supporting the channel, to make it grow, get it bigger. The holiday seasons are coming up, so be thinking about that. Thank you, Manoodle. I appreciate the support, brother. What do I use to draw on leather? Like when I do my jackets, I use acrylic paint. You guys can seal it with like a spray sealer if you like. It'll keep it probably a lot longer, but I don't. And I do a lot of my lines and my, my shading. I do everything real thick, so it doesn't really crack or break. But I do have to do a little bit touch up and maintenance every once in a great while. And yes, it's been, fucking snow and rain tested. Alright, my noodle, take care, brother. Hey, awesome, Lucas. Thanks for the sub, brother. Appreciate it. Hopefully you're enjoying all the content and everything this channel has to offer, and there's going to be a lot more coming up. Hey, before I call it quits on this, I want to make you guys aware of something. One of the things I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be covering videos, not just so much about greaser stuff, but I mean, it's going to be greaser related, but I'm going to teach you guys a lot of different stuff, a lot of things that I picked up throughout the years. Like man shit, you know what I mean? Like, sewing, doing some cooking stuff. Because here's the thing, man, don't rely on any girl to fucking do anything for you. If you find a girl that will cook for you or sew for you or whatever, great. If you don't be nobody's fool. Take care of your own shit. Teach you guys how to tie a tie, shine shoes, fucking how to dress proper and nice when you gotta go out to a nice event. You know what I mean? And especially this generation, I really want to teach you guys how to actually dress nice and do some like actual man shit, and how to like tie your tie, shine your shoes, iron your fucking pants and your shirts, stuff that's wasted on the new generation. They don't understand that, they don't get it. But as greasers, when we go out to a nice event, you go dancing, take your girl out, you got something fancy to go to, a wedding or a funeral or whatever you got to do, you want to look nice, you know what I mean? So that's going to be something that I'm going to be implementing into the channel. Be able to pass on some of the knowledge that I have to a lot of you younger cats that you can continue on and use in your day-to-day life. Yeah, exactly. How to be a gentleman. Nothing wrong with that. How's the book going? It's going great. It's going great. I work on it a little bit at a time. I, again, don't have any kind of a date where I'm telling you, like, hey, it's going to be out by this time. It's basically going to get done when it gets done. I'm really trying to take my time, and I'm loving that you cats are so fucking responsive to it, It's going to be a great book. I promise you that. I've done a couple of cig reviews. I'll definitely be doing a little bit more. Keep an eye out on that. But I'm not trying to promote smoking. It's just a personal choice I've made. So anyway, cats, we've been on for 2 hours, pretty much. I'm going to go ahead and call it quits here. I do have a few more things I need to do with my night, and I do need to rest and relax. I've been busy all day long. I've been going all day long. So I appreciate you guys coming out. Check out the Zazzle, the Redbubble. I'm always uploading stuff. I'm always doing something with that. I'm trying to do a little bit of everything for everybody. So, support the channel in that way. You guys get something great out of it. I get something cool out of it. I'm able to grow the channel, make more content, do more things. It's always appreciated. And be looking for the book. That's going to be coming out. When it comes out, I'll let you guys know. You guys know that I always try to let you guys know what's coming up in advance. And, thanks for coming out to the live stream. I enjoyed talking with you guys, answering questions. We're on our way to fucking 4,000. You guys rock. Keep doing it. Keep sharing. Keep this thing alive. Let's keep moving it forward, man. It's all of us together that are going to spearhead and move it forward into this new era and keep this alive. So whether you're just trying it out for the very first time or you've been doing it for years, it doesn't really matter. Hopefully that you find a love and inspiration in the greaser style. It's been around since the 50s. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's just going to keep moving forward. So I definitely appreciate you guys. You guys are doing it justice. So, here we go. Hold on. We've got to do the thing here. I'm not going to crack my knuckles. I'll fuck my finger up. Do I hear a drum roll? If you don't know, get a clue, get a brew, get a rock and roll tattoo. Hang loose and fucking be safe. The madman is out. You guys know what I'm doing. Alright guys, take care. I'll catch you guys next time. Hey, 4,000's coming up real fast, so I'll see you soon. And I'll see you in the comments section and in the videos.